Hello, good evening. This is the 23rd of August 2021. Our sleepy airport of Islamabad has suddenly become the hub of a lot of activity. Flights are coming in from Kabul, uh, one after another, and people are being evacuated. This is arguably one of the world's largest exodus in modern times. The European Union and the Asian Development Bank has been asking PIA to help them out. Uh, Conditions at the Kabul airport are precarious because the services there are collapsing, breaking down. There is a lot of trash on the airport, which is making flying hazardous. Uh, the Americans are flying out their people from their staff, various staffs, and I'm sure that must include contractors as well, from safe locations. One doesn't know what these safe locations are. They have already abandoned their base at Bagram, but I'm sure they must be having other airstrips which may be firmly in their control. The NATO troops are still controlling the airport, but they have been such a mad rush at Kabul airport that yesterday at least 7 people died, and the surging crowds had to be bait charged. This is a desperate situation in Afghanistan. The embassy of Pakistan in Kabul has issued more than 4,000 visas for people who want to come to Pakistan. And there have been newspaper reports which say that human smuggling rackets are thriving, that they are smuggling people from into Balochistan from Afghanistan. The government says it will not allow mass influx of refugees into Pakistan. How will they stop that? I do not know. I'm sure they must be having contingency plans. I'm sure the Pakistan Army must be on the alert. The NDMA, the UNHCR, the Afghan Commissionerate for Refugees must have their contingency plans ready, or they must have dusted them and must be preparing for eventualities. But more important than that is that the government, whichever government takes shapes in Afghanistan, should be stable, and it should be friendly to Pakistan. Pakistan has already expressed its concerns about certain TTP affiliates who have been released from prison, and they have handed over a list to the Taliban of the TTP that they want to remain under custody. These people, Pakistan thinks, should not be let out because they are working against the state of Pakistan. The Pakistani ambassador has been meeting people in Afghanistan, in Kabul, Gulbuddin Hikmatyar and others, and trying to gauge the situation of how the intra-Afghan consensus is developing, how the Afghan government is going to take shape. The new government is going to face a lot of difficulties because there is no money, and Ashraf Ghani has fled with a lot of money. In Hollywood style, he fled in a helicopter clutching his money bags. So the situation is bad. People are worried. Life goes on in Kabul. Their news agency Talu is working. They are carrying out interviews, etc., and even female anchors are visible. The Taliban are very careful. They do not want to give an impression of misogynism this time over. They want to give an impression of rational people who do not want to inflict any hardships on their people, particularly women folk and the minorities. So let's hope in the coming days a new government comes up in Kabul, which is stable and which is friendly towards Pakistan, and which does not allow its territory to be used against Pakistan and indeed against any other country. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you a very good evening.